Oh, it's another day. It is another sports card video back again. How the heck is everybody doing? I hope it is a good week so far for you all. And let's just dive right into this thing. I saw a video by Neo Cards and Comics touching on this, but a newly issued 2022 Panini NT Babe Ruth cut auto with relics, all the things. It looks like a booklet. It's pretty sweet, except for it looks to be a George Brett autograph card. And there's been a lot of talk with Panini and Topps and different issues with patches. It was like a Dolphins card that had a Redskins patch, which Washington hasn't even been the Redskins for years. So it's like, how old was that jersey or patch or whatever? I mean, it's interesting. And, back in the day, these would be the error cards. Maybe it would be the Frank Thomas, the no name, rookie card at the bottom or, whatever. There's all sorts of different error cards going back into the late 80s, early 90s. And there's actually collectors for those. They would just collect the error stuff. So there is a collector base for error cards. What's different though about this one in particular is this is a major hit from what I understand in this product, in this NT product. So one of one, it's Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth autographs have been under kind of scrutiny here lately. Sports Card Radio was talking about a Babe Ruth autograph here. I mean, this is a huge chase. It's like Mickey Mantle autograph, Babe Ruth autograph. These are the baseball legends. And so for these to get kind of messed up and just slip through the cracks, it makes me wonder too, and we've talked about this over the last few months, but just more transparency on the manufacturing side. It would be really awesome if Fanatics, Topps, Panini, if they kind of opened the doors and showed a little bit more as to what happens behind the scenes. There's a lot of kind of the Wizard of Oz, the wizard behind the curtain, Willy Wonka and his chocolate factory, what's going on behind the scenes, behind the gates, and when you look at this, it's like, is there a human that checks this on the back end, or is it kind of just more of an automated process? How are the cards built? And again, maybe on YouTube, there are videos of this thing and I've just missed them. So if you know of any, please let me know in the comments below. But just how are the cards made? How are they distributed? What is the quality care, the quality control process for companies? I think this would be fascinating to know, because at least it gives the consumer some sort of an idea as to how things work so they have a better understanding. And here's the other issue is sports card collecting has become very expensive. So where 5 years ago, this NT baseball box, this unlicensed baseball product, probably fairly reasonably priced. Now this is very, very expensive stuff. They're really up in the ante as far as memorabilia cards and autograph cards, which is awesome. I mean, this is the type of card that would be a huge get if it was a Babe Ruth autograph. And so I like the idea. I like where they're going. There's some really amazing products that are coming out, but it's just when you have these sorts of mistakes, they're magnified simply just because the industry has become very expensive. It's a very expensive hobby to carry now, whereas 5, 10, 15 years ago, wasn't as much of an expensive hobby. Additionally, the rise of breaking, it has put emphasis on these marked boxes. We've talked about this before where, they're obviously marking certain boxes to track hits to make sure that hits are making it into the product. But again, what is that process? Can they give us a little bit more into the back end of that so that the consumer, the average consumer, understands it? And so then you have less conspiracy theories when you have more information. And so that would be awesome if the manufacturers could just come out with a little bit more of the details on the making side of cards. Before we move on, guys, check out live streaming app Drip. The Drip marketplace has all sorts of different types of collectibles, whether it be non-sports, culture cards, sports cards, comic books, a variety of different things. It's a fun time, so definitely check out Drip. I will put a link in the video description as well as in the pinned comments below. All right, an auction house that I know is popular, especially among vintage collectors, Robert Edward Auctions. I noticed Sports Collectors Daily reported on this. Check out sportscollectorsdaily.com. I will put a link to their website in the video description as well. But they actually reported here, Robert Edward Auctions has a January auction the same way that a lot of auction houses, they have their monthly auction, PWCC or Golden, whoever it is. But you do hear a lot about PWCC Golden. You don't hear as much reported on some of these. I don't want to call it a smaller auction house, but just one that isn't in the forefront. It doesn't have maybe as much media attention. So Robert Edward Auctions, 3,000 items that sold for $1.1 million. But the one thing they reported that was interesting, 59,510 bids were placed by a record number of different bidders. So, it's so interesting to me following the collectible space because, of course, you have economic pressures. There's a lot of economic pressures. There's a lot of concern, but man, it does not seem like there is less money kind of being put out there. There doesn't seem to be as much concern when it comes to a lot of these, higher end sports cards. Now, this auction, it wasn't necessarily that there was monster cards, but like some of the highlights were, an MJ86 Fleer rookie card and a PSA 9 sold for about $17,000. They showed a picture, Sports Collectors Daily, cool picture of a Willie Mays, PSA 1.5, the auto grade 7, but on-card autograph, in-person auto on a 52 Topps Mays card. Just a unique piece, and if you're looking for 52 Topps Mays cards, obviously very expensive, lower, mid, and high grades. You're not going to get some, amazing steal of a deal on that card. It's just a very popular one. And so to have kind of that uniqueness of the, the autograph on a lower grade card, just kind of cool. So shout out to Robert Edward Auctions. It looks like, hey, things are humming along in the sports card world. We will see if there's any sort of more of a contraction. I mean, I know on the higher end of cards, there are certainly cards that have taken a hit, no doubt about that whatsoever. But the collectible space is so vast, and I have a belief that really every individual card has its own market. So when we're looking at market trends, it's very, very difficult because you have such variety, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It only takes a couple of people that really want a particular card to move those sale prices up. So it's interesting stuff. Guys, have an amazing rest of your day. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.